So, on Coastline, there are some options you can bring out for set bans that will really disrupt your play. Thermite, I guess, an option, but there are some ways you can get around that with Hibana on this map. You know, if you go to a penthouse and there's only Hibana as an option, though, it can be pretty debilitating if you aren't used to it. We'll see. We've got Lion already gone. And that's a pretty predictable ban. No surprise at all there. You can see Nora's taking their time with this. They're thinking it through. I like that they're going to be taking every possible second that they can to establish what they want out of this map. Glaz being eliminated makes a lot of sense. On pretty much every site, he can be a torrent of death. And not having him here, it will hurt, well, both teams, but on the attacking side.
Yeah, especially that Glaz ban for a player on Vitality such as Zephy, who plays it predominantly. That's a big ban for Nora Rengo to go for. Of course, it is a very expected ban on a map like Coastline. We've seen it a lot being banned out yesterday in some of our matchups, so there's no real surprise to the Glaz being banned out. So it's looking pretty straightforward at the moment. Let's see what the first defender is going to be, and that's going to be Echo. So that's a pretty strange one for me, especially because Vitality are typically banning out the Echo because and Echo is one of their biggest counters for their type of playstyle, where they try and go for the plant in the last 15 seconds. So Nora Rengo essentially getting rid of that just gives Vitality a free ban for them to go for.
Could really hurt Nora later. And we'll see if their lucky study up there will hurt. Yeah, Maestro coming out as the second defender banned by Vitality, so that reinforces your theory there that Vitality does not want to deal with anything that can indirectly deny them a defuse plant or hurt them on the slow push.
So we will be moving into our first round. It will be Vitality on the defense. Kitchen and service entrance is where we will be headed. So we're more or less going to be looking at more of a heavy roam game, especially for this particular bomb site. You don't want to give the top floor control up too easily, because then you can have operators such as Buck or Sledge come in and start ruining your day from above. So I would imagine that a very aggressive roam game coming out from Zephyr and Bibu especially. We don't really see the Ayla being picked too much compared to recent times, but certainly as a roamer she still is very effective. She does her job. We've even seen a couple of Ayla shotguns yesterday, so I doubt we'll be seeing that, but we will have to see how Bibu does play his Ela.
Ella's an interesting operator, that's for sure. She's seen a long path of going from being completely overpowered to really underpowered, and then suddenly kind of right in the middle, and people tend to play her, decently. But she's going to get 6 picked off for a Valkyrie, and having that information, I think, is prudent on a map like Coastline. You really need to be able to gather where the attack is coming from, because there are so many options for both the attackers and the defenders alike. And information is the name of the game in general in Siege, but most notably on maps like this.
So looking at the Nora Rengo, they're going for more of an aggressive lineup. We see that's 3 free speeds going in that, so a lot of aggression. You see Mario on the Ashe. Also, you have Waka there on Sophia, which I'm surprised why someone with a gun skill like Waka, why not throw him on the more aggressive kind of operator with the R4C, a very, very strong weapon. But then again, that may be just a play style. We're seeing upstairs holes with the mirror windows from Vitality, a strat that we don't see all too often. Yeah, sure, we see some people playing inside of the theater, but never with this kind of mirror window. Typically, the mirror likes to keep that for the bomb site, having the mirror windows to protect more or less the reception, and also then the B bomb site as well. If that comes, but whenever B bomb site is not as common, then yeah, you can understand why they're going to use the mirror window upstairs.
Well, the mirror window facing into the main lobby is redundant if you're holding the top floor, because you can hold the main lobby from the top floor and by extension security, plus you have that immediate rotation from the drop downs. The mirror window in the site, you can see he hasn't placed it yet. Rafael's probably holding on to it, or he's placed it by bathroom. Or they have actually gone for the main lobby one as well as a top floor, so they're doubling up on that. They're not really paying much attention to delivery, but that stands to reason, I guess, since delivery attacks are kind of difficult to pull off without something dedicated like a Glaz or a Montaigne. And they do have a set of smokes, so finding out where the weak spot is in Vitality, like I said, doubling up on it, I'd say a decent call.
So Bibu is going to be playing on that Valkyrie. We've seen him 6 pick it off of the Ayla, so they're going to have a couple of Valkyrie cameras scattered about. But JJ's going to be bringing the IQ, and I did see for just a little glimpse there, he was looking at some of the cameras through the walls, and that will be Mariu getting things started off, as that will be Spark going down, so the Legion's going to get killed, but automatically Zephyr on the refrag playing that aggressive corridor does get the kill onto Papayan, and that will be him going down as Raphael does get the kill onto Mariu. So a 4 versus 3 still in Vitality's favour after Nora Rengo did get that first kill. And at minute 15, Nora Rengo have made no progress.
Attackers recovered the
They've also lost 2 players on attempting to clear out these roamers upstairs. They've still got enough time to make this work for them, but they've got to go against so many layers of defense. As I fear will, I believe, eat a bullet or 2 through the wall there from Waka, but not enough to get the kill or the down even. JJ's still outside of delivery. He's been sitting on this position for pretty much the entire round, waiting for an opportunity for a kill, and that might happen soon, but it might be too little too late at that point. You're looking at 40 seconds left, and no progress made.
No, certainly Nora Rengo are playing it very slow. That's going to be the last Dokkaebi phone call going out, and he's still, Shen's going to be running upstairs, still not even near the kitchen. Raphael is holding his angle inside of the kitchen along with Bread inside the service, and that will be Zephyr getting another kill for himself as he will win that gunfight against the SMG-12. Not an easy feat to do, as last 2 men up will be Waka and JJ. Waka also upstairs trying to go for the kill on the Zephyr. Bread gets the kill on the JJ, and Zephyr will clean things up, and Team Vitality will take the first round inside of Coastline.
So, defense of the kitchen, and interestingly set up too. Usually you see those mirror windows a little bit more evenly split, but they doubled up the mirror windows to hold the main lobby, which is kind of an oddity. One for the top floor to allow for your projector player to continue to play vertically without being pressured from the balcony, and then the other inside of the storage room by the bathroom and or facing directly into the kitchen or into the main lobby. They also had players roaming over by security and in main lobby in general. They were also playing heavily on the top floor, extended beyond projector, which is just kind of an odd setup. It's really, like I said, it's putting all your eggs in one basket, and it's kind of doubling up on the expectation that Nora wants to take top floor, Nora wants to take main lobby. And it worked. It worked out great. JJ was sitting outside of delivery for pretty much the entire round. And there was an opportunity there for Nora, but they never seized it. It was never called out, and because of that, they lost the round.
Yeah, certainly not the start that Nora Rengo was expecting. But certainly Vitality have a good headway here. They've got the kitchen out of the way with, so they can go for the top floor, the penthouse amphitheater, which is generally the most picked bomb site on this map. Of course, all 4 bomb sites are all viable, all universally used by nearly every team, but you have to be in this kind of meta where you have to always be ready to adapt. Great teams like G2 can do that very, very well, as we've seen them do that a lot throughout just any season that they've really played. They've always been a kind of quick-thinking team, and certainly Vitality can play quick off certain things that they see weaknesses in, but more or less they have these set strategies. They know what they want to do. Spark a very nice camera there on that palm tree that gives them then that lookout over towards then that north side of the building.
If you're going for a very dangerous spawn peak, he's trying to establish some dominance here early on. Luckily for Nora, they did not spawn at that position, and no kills will be had for Zephyr. The setup right now from Vitality is kind of interesting. They've been getting some reinforcements with mirror windows in odd places. You can see you've got your standard mirror window in projector facing towards the B-bomb side, but the secondary mirror window is oddly placed in the hallway, which is just, as I said, very abnormal. You also have an opened up wall in VIP, which isn't fully established as a rotation. I think you might be able to shimmy your way through there, but it's got some studs still up, so it's going to be a really awkward move. Regardless, though, it looks like Nora is going to be pushing from Sunrise rather than directly onto the VIP balcony, which I got to commend them for this play call, because VIP balcony is heavily reinforced. However, if you're going to make the play, you need to drone for it first, and Mariu will be eliminated very early into the round thanks to poor teamwork.
Extremely sloppy there from Nora Rengo, giving Spark the easiest kill off his, probably the game, I would say. So not the best from Nora Rengo there. We do see Waka getting himself inside off the toilets along with JJ, as he's actually trying to use his IQ scanner to try and destroy some of the equipment that may be inside of the bomb site, such as ADSs. Also, Valkyrie Camera 2 could be lurking about. But I'm liking the kind of format that Vitality are setting up, where they have these immense crossfires. As Spark is going to come in contact with Shin over beside the billiard room as well. Like Zephyr, he can hold that corridor down as well as anybody can with that echo that he does have equipped. Spark still fighting against Shin, who has just backed himself up in towards the hallway. Essentially, Shin cannot move through that corridor unless he goes for the smoke, and he actually going to miss his... he didn't miss a smoke grenade, and that will be Shin pushing in, gets the kill onto Spark, as Waka gets the kill onto Zephyr, coming up these back stairs as well. So Vitality already lost 2 members in, but 40 seconds, they've eaten up a lot of time for Nora Rengo, and they're going to have to play very quick on their feet.
Shin, very little HP, as well as Waka. So man advantage right now for Nora, but I would say actually an HP advantage for Vitality. Going to come down to those headshots, hopefully for Nora's sake, and Jaeger will give his position away, trying to destroy some Excaros and thus see defeat. Rafael manages to get Waka, though, with that C4. So an even trade back and forth here for Vitality, but they're still on the back foot. 9 seconds left. Time is the main thing for the defense here. But Shin, such a headshot onto Rafael. And Bibu, the last defender alive, stuck in the bathroom. It doesn't look like the attackers know where he is! And they're just gonna let him sit in the bathroom and win the round on time. What an odd play there from Nora, and Vitality will take their second round.
They did not know where he was. They thought he was over beside the wardrobe, but he was in the bathroom the whole time.
They had to have known he was in the bathroom. He had just killed an opponent. There must have been a call. It had to have been the wrong call.
Yeah, I seen whenever IQ pushed in, JJ looked to the right, over towards the wardrobe, didn't even look left, so must have been just a poor call out. And this is something that is costing Nora Rengo rounds already. They've lost 2 rounds because of poor and sloppy teamwork. They need to fix this.
Yeah, that second round was all over the place. I mean, first you had Mariu dying immediately because nobody's droning for him. And then you have, right after that, a clear of the roamers, pretty good clear of the roamers, and established control of VIP, and then a very standard push into the site after already disabling the mirror windows. All of these things this is great. You know, the Nora strategy there was pretty spot on. They also cleared downstairs efficiently and managed to get rid of all of the potential utility that could stop them on their push. So major props to Nora setting themselves up. But yet again, same as yesterday, when Nora sets themselves up so efficiently, they don't always come in on the execution and manage to make it work. They kind of struggle as soon as they're in a position to actually fight their opponents, and that's what we just witnessed. Well, hopefully for Nora's sake that doesn't happen again, but Vitality are, I'm sure, very happy with that.
So we're going to be moving into another bomb site for Vitality, since the penthouse amphitheater and also the kitchen is still locked out due to the new format that was brought in this season. A very good change. It makes teams, they have to go for other bomb sites. A great example has been how Oregon's been played, where teams have had to go for the kitchen and also the big tower. So it does give a lot more adaptability that teams have to work with, but certainly the hookah lounge and billiards is by no means least a bad bomb site. You can play it many different ways. You can try and go for the heavy roam game over towards the penthouse area. Also, very heavy C4s from below works extremely well. Big talking point, I would say, from yesterday on Coastline was whenever Meatbee from Team Secret, he got that immense C4 kill from below. Yeah, that was really crazy, the ingenious play from Meatbee. But certainly it's a good bomb site to have. Mira got through into Coastline, so that's always going to be a big plus for the defenders, is having these mirror windows. And whenever we see this very aggressive mirror setup where they're locking down the billiards and also locking down that main corridor, it gives them a lot more flexibility with where the roamers can go. And we're actually going to see 2 roamers over towards that east side, which is going to be Bibu and Zephyr.
So I gotta say, this mirror window setup from Vitality is pretty dangerous considering the way that Nora's been playing. You see on the rappel, I believe it is, the Buck, or possibly, yeah, Waka, able to get that mirror window opened up. But then also, you know, Nora's been playing a lot from below, and that other mirror window will probably be opened up eventually if Nora wants it to be so. I mean, they've got the soft destructors for it, they've got the positioning for it. Vitality's not really putting too much of an emphasis downstairs. They have two roamers there. They've got one by the stairs and one by the actual Sunrise bar. But Nora's shifted their focus a little bit. They've opened up the mirror window that they know they need in order to push into Billiards, and they're going to be looking like a south side take in from Aqua, which is a pretty good take, but they have to be wary of potential C4s from below, like Bibu, for example. And they don't really have much roam clear going on right this second, though JJ's looking to fix that as he opens up the south doorway into Office. Perfect timing there for JJ to come away with his life.
Very lucky there. Bebu, he did try and put a little bit of pressure, as the first kill will go out in Vitality's way, as Rafael will shut down Crazy Payan, as Shin will get the refrag onto Bebu, but Spark from below gets the kill on the Waka, who was lurking downstairs. 3 members are going to be on this top floor, so no roamers downstairs. They don't have any C4 denial as Shin does shut down Spark from below. Mariu still playing very aggressive beside that aquarium doorway as he's just going to peek in and out. Rafael, he still has these smoke canisters. He can delay this as long as he can. And he's just going to hold the angle. Bread still inside of the hookah. And Shin is going to be knocking on his door very soon, but the deployable shield very smartly does keep him from that. We're going to see the repel as JJ is going to be stuck on that Billiards window. Shin gets the kill on the Bread, and Mariu's going to run in and does get that kill on to Rafael. Zephyr is going to be stuck inside of the 1 versus 3. Sees Mariu, catches him, but then Shin will get the refrag, and Nora Rengo get their first round on the board.
So the execution there from Nora was honestly pretty bad. But once they went for the push, it managed to work for them. This is so odd. Every time Nora sets themselves up perfectly for an execute onto the site, they cannot win when it comes to the actual engagement. And then every time that they set themselves up poorly, they manage to get the round win off of just the engagement. That's so counterintuitive. A big part of that was Shin able to get the Mira, who is playing inside of Hookah. After that kill, they had control of a crossfire that allowed them to pick apart the defenders one by one and to get that site control. Overall, though, a really odd round.
Yeah, they certainly won that just down to their gun skills. Shin had a lot of big kills there on the Dokkaebi, which is another interesting operator that we do see get banned quite a lot, but it's kind of, do you want to ban Lion or do you want to ban Dokkaebi? That's kind of the way that teams do like to go about it, unless you're going to straight out ban Glass like Nora Rengo did, which is more of a target ban to particular players and the play style that Vitality does go for. And the 6th pick is going to be going on to a Twitch. So JJ, not working with IQ anymore, he's going to be going with the Twitch, and this works very well whenever we know Mira does get played by Vitality every single defensive round.
I mean, it makes sense. Mira is one of the most useful operators on defense.
Highest ban pick as well.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing you can say wrong about Mira as an op. Same thing with Smoke, really. You know, these are the types of operators that are going to be played if they're available 9 times out of 10. Now, we've seen 2 successful defenses from Vitality, but the second victory they got was very close. It was a 2 versus 1, and Nora lost it on time. The first round was also pretty, I mean, it wasn't close really. It was a pretty dominating victory for Vitality, but there were some opportunities that Nora had available to them and just didn't seize. So that was a bit of an oversight on Nora's side. Vitality have been playing decently, but they haven't been playing so exceptionally well that Nora can't catch up. I like this castle barricade strategy. Basically what you're doing is you're just cutting down the middle of the bottom floor, and that's going to give you some more maneuverability on the horizontal play.
Double Claymore strategy there from Nora Rengo. You can see both of them crossing over each other, so a lot of denial here. So if any members of Vitality want to try and run out, go for the kill. You know, simply, if someone was running out that door, they could get a free kill on the JJ, but because both Claymores are there, that is not going to be available for them. we're going to see Spark and Xavier over beside the aquarium. Both of them playing very close to each other. Mariu is going to be outside of the aquarium balcony as well, so he's ready to go for the follow-up kills if, for example, Waka does push in and does die. But certainly that castle barricade at that aquarium doorway is going to help them, so they only have to worry about the one angle coming in from the aquarium, as Bibi will get JJ as he was playing towards them blue stairs. Mariu still fighting with Zephyr. One of the hardest locations that most attackers deal with is getting rid of a guy behind that bar.
Yeah, they have the utility for it, but there's also a castle watching from the side of Aqua. The repel in from Waka will get Spark though, and the follow-up from Waka 2 onto Zephyr. And he's looking for some more frags. He's managed to deal with these roamers, and good position control here from Waka, and he's wary of any potential refraggers from Vitality, but no, he has the control he needs, and with plenty of time to spare.
Yeah, certainly the big kills from Waka, that's what Nora Rengo need, is players like Shin and Waka performing extremely well. Vitality, all three of them are going to be downstairs. Rafael and Brid are going to be inside of the bars, and then Bibi is going to be actually lurking inside of the kitchen area, trying to catch anybody who may want to rotate down towards the blue. But essentially, all of Nora Rengo are going to try and rotate in towards the blue bar area, as they have gotten themselves in towards the office area. Papillon can start opening up these reinforced walls, start going for these peaks, so it's forced Brid all the way back into Sunrise along with Rafael, so essentially both of them are going to be stuck together, as Papillon has managed to get himself in towards that bar. The phone call does go out as well, and the plant is going to go down. Smoke grenade as well gets popped. The Shin runs in, gets the kill onto Rafael, as it will be a 4 versus 2. Brid is going to try and fight on the blue stairs. Bibi inside the courtyard, using these holes to his advantage. Doesn't see anybody, however, and has rotated in towards the corridor. Gets the kill onto Shin. So a 3 versus 2 bomb has been planted. Gets a double for Bibu. 2 versus 2. Brid does get the kill onto a Pion. 2 versus 1 down to Walker. He's going to be on the blue stairs. This could be an easy defuse for Vitality, and it is going to be an easy defuse as Walker does get the kill onto Bibu, but Brid is going to be able to get that defuse. So Vitality stealing that round from Nora Rengo. It's possibly one of their best rounds they've played so far.
Yeah, yet again, we see a round that Vitality really should not have won, that Nora should not have lost, go the way of Vitality. That was just a very odd round, a complete circle done there by Bibu and Brid as well, just to get the diffuse disable. And there was some perfect plays being made by Nora. They isolated the blue bar very well. They managed to get their planter in with relative ease. No one in a position to deny. Shin even shut down the smoke as he was throwing a gas canister to try and deny the defuse plant. Now, given the timing, the gas canister would not have denied the defuse plant, but it possibly could have gotten the down on the planter himself, thus hurting the attack a little bit more. Regardless, Shin stopped that, and following all of this success, Nora, yet again, could not lock it out. And that is the third time in a row. Well, no, okay, let's be fair to Nora.
Yeah.
Second time that has happened so far in this match. This should be, right now, a pretty decisive map in favor of Nora, but they've just managed to let so many rounds slip away at the dying seconds.
Yeah, certainly a lot of little missteps that really does cost you whenever you are playing against a team like Vitality, who will punish you for any mistake Vitality sees. They will take full advantage of that. Bibi knew that he could go for the rotate. There was no flank coverage from Nora Rengo. And then it was 1-2-3. Vitality got the retake, and it was as simple as that. There was no real trouble for Vitality going for that retake. I'm even surprised that we managed to see Brid just walk in the blue bar and kill Papillon. That should not happen. Papillon should have been ready for that retake.
I also like that Vitality has now brought us to every single site. We went to kitchen, projector, hookah, and then double bar, and we're all the way back at the original, well, not the original, the second,
yeah,
the projector. So, the setup is the same from Vitality. They have opened up a number of interesting walls, most notably that VIP wall. They're playing aggressively inside of VIP. They have the mirror window to use on L in order to help hold that VIP. And Nora, on the other hand, looks like they might be changing up their attack strategy. Last time, they were very heavily invested downstairs early in the round. They disabled some of the mirror windows, and they got themselves a little bit of an easier push. This time, they seem to want to go for a VIP take. Now, I'm a little bit worried about this because Vitality have set themselves up specifically to hold against a VIP take. And Nora did commit a VIP take last time. It was just very late in the round after they had already done a few other things. But we'll see if the more aggressive, potentially efficient strategy from Nora is able to get them to win this time. They were so close on the previous attack of this site, but they didn't manage to get it.
Certainly the easiest way that Nora Rengo could go about getting rid of that mirror window specifically is pushing in towards the hook and then vice versa in towards the quarter. But because Spark does play so aggressive on them stairs, it does make it more of a worry for Nora Rengo. As you can see, Waka inside the hook, and Spark does know he is going to be there and does get killed by Waka as he will get shot down. So Waka does get the first blood. Very interesting use of the drone hole there. It's very common where you can try and catch a foot or two, and if Brid does back up any further, he will be cut out, and that, oh, he just barely misses that. I'm surprised Waka doesn't get a little bit closer here.
Yeah, he could possibly get the angle maybe from the stairs, but he doesn't want to expose himself to the hallway because he doesn't have enough information. So he's playing it safe as he can while still trying to go for this kill. As long as Waka doesn't have another job he needs to commit to, this is fine for him to sit on. He's going to just, well, use his concussion to allow JJ to get the kill. Good teamwork there. Bibu's still inside a bathroom. Oh, Bibu, no, you're not supposed to miss those. Rafael, the final defender after Nora Rengo rally, and Waka will get that final kill. Vitality goes down, and Nora get their second round.
Potentially the weakest Vitality round we've seen so far. That was just simple for Nora Rengo, and Nora Rengo at the moment are certainly just out-fragging Vitality in terms of gun skill. You can see nearly every big 1v1 that's happened, it has always been Nora Rengo who's won it. May it be Shin, or may it's been Waka who has won that, which, like we said, we're expecting to see these two put the hard carry in for Nora Rengo because they're so highly rated. Look what Waka did in the last LAN event at the Season 7 Pro League Finals, and even Shin dating back to the Invitational played very strong as well. So certainly these are the two guys that have the reputation of the insane gun skill, and they are certainly proving it.
Well, Kitchen going to be the first defense for Nora as they transition to the second half. They will now be holding, and Vitality will be attacking. Ying left unbanned. Vitality is going to take full use of that operator, I'm sure. And she is a very powerful one to have on an attack, especially like a kitchen, or especially onto a kitchen hold. This is the sort of site where there's a lot of bottlenecks, and that's where you'll have Ying really shine.
So, this is going to be Vitality's first attack. They're going to have this long of 5 rounds at least for Vitality to, or not at least maximum, to get these points on the board. Nora Rengo, they have this defense, but on a map like Coastline, which I would say is a lot more attacker favored because you do have a lot more of these longer angles that you can hold with the more ACOGs that the attackers do have available, and it's very easy to cut off rotations from roamers. Mario is going to be bringing the Vigil, an operator which we haven't seen a whole too lot currently at the LAN. A lot of teams are either banning it or they're just not fitting into the Vigil playstyle, which can be understandable, but still a very good operator if you're looking for the bigger maps like Bank, for example. But certainly Coastline, you can make it work as well.
You can see Waka's waiting for a potential run out. He actually had a good opportunity there, but it slipped by. Hopefully he doesn't commit himself to that.
Don't do it.
Don't do it, yeah. Could have worked out a little bit earlier, but it's too risky, you know, and that's a big thing. Risks like that don't usually get taken at this level of play. You're playing at a major, even just the group stages of the major, you don't want to give away your life for no reason. Now, Vitality, they know where the site is. It looks like they're just trying to clear out the top floor before they make the push down, which stands to reason given that Nora is so heavily invested upstairs. Though they're playing a very passive roam, it seems. Not trying to hold per se, but more, you know, waste time and maneuver away.
Certainly the Vitality push is going to involve getting the room clear done, as Waka is going to be letting himself know, and the Spark gets heavily damaged, and Bibu almost dies from that. Phone call did go out. Mario has rotated in towards the corridor as well to support his teammate, as Rafael does go for the burst. Ying and does get that kill onto Waka. Zephyr does get the kill onto Mario as well, who was inside of the corridor. So quick 2 kills for Vitality. That's going to be the rumors dead. And this is where they can start getting in Brid to open up the floor with those breaching charges.
You can see there Waka realized it was a bad hold, but too little too late as the Ying Candelas really had him in a pinch. Vitality using a lot of utility though there. NFL will get reset. And Vitality will start to muster for their final assault onto the bottom floor. They have the vertical control, they have the breaching charges. They are using them to force Nora into really bad spots. And also have the focus of these remaining defenders just shifted upwards, allowing for any horizontal push to be a little bit more effective. Brid narrowly missing out on a potential kill there for JJ, who has miraculously stayed alive in this corner. He really should be dead right now. You can see the proximity detonation from the lifeline is going to prompt vitality of one of the defenders' positions. That's JJ. And the spray from the smoke is going to do the very same. Bibu actually goes down. A very interesting engagement right now is happening vertically, and it looks like JJ is going to come out on top. Zephyr gets Shin. So it's a fight back from Vitality. 2 versus 4. It's not a great situation right now for the defenders. Here comes the final utility and the gas canisters to stop the push. JJ gets a kill on gas canister for Rafael, who is too lit, and he's sitting in the corner. Nobody checks it, and the cover from his teammates. It's just JJ, though, in the 1 versus 2, and there's no one in a position to kill the smoke in the dying seconds of the round. What has just happened? Reminiscent of the round we saw previous half, where Nora were unable to kill the Bibu, I believe it was, sitting in the bathroom. We see the same happen here on Delivery.
What a round from JJ. Played that so well. Getting the first kill on the Bibu was very impressive, especially whenever he could have got refragged very easily from the vertical play like you were mentioning. But yeah, very sloppy from Vitality there, and a team that we know do go for these methodical pushes. They want to make sure everything is clear. They need to be happy with how they're going to push. So it's very mind-boggling how Vitality let something as easy as checking the corner, lets it slip, and they lost the round from it.
A huge oversight, that's for sure. And also because their players were so lit up, JJ was able to get a gas canister kill.
I know.
It's
not good.
You don't usually see that happen. And the interesting thing is, the gas canister was detonated before the attacker committed himself to running through it, which means he either A, did not check his health bar before he tried to go through that gas canister plume, or B, he miscalculated. Either way, a bad situation for Vitality. But the main thing, of course, to take away from that is how much time they wasted. And this is the big thing. Vitality so efficiently cleared those roamers upstairs. 2 kills right off the bat, about halfway through the round, maybe a little bit further than that, but still. And then they had another minute, 20 seconds, give or take, to use that vertical play to their advantage. And they didn't. And in fact, it cost them on the vertical play. Then when they went for the actual side push, they could not find the final player who had been exposed to them throughout most of the round. It was an odd round.
Yeah, it's certainly something that we can never predict is going to happen. We see the first 3 kill or the first 2 kills come out, and then we're like, oh yeah, Vitality. This is exactly what Vitality need. And then it just kind of just falls for Vitality in the way that they play their playstyle, where they put so much pressure onto a team. But Nora Rengo having the fight back, and they're going to be taking up in towards the bars. So we've seen Vitality defend this previously after a good retake, and certainly from Vitality, they're bringing almost the exact same lineup, where they're certainly going to try and get in, open up the floor, and get rid of the anchors as well.
Well, there's been a lot of, to put it kindly, there's been a lot of throws from both teams so far. I feel like none of these rounds that we've seen for either squad really came off as like, oh yeah, they won because they played amazingly well. We've seen some rounds even where one team will play amazingly well and then just not be able to lock it out. And Rafael lining himself up for a potential kill there, but he actually just doesn't press mouse 1. He's got his opponents, his teammates actually droning out his opponent at the top of these blue stairs, and he's going to be able to get the mirror window, but the kill does not come out on the Papillon, who manages to get away with his life.
Yeah, very lucky there for him to scurry down in blue stairs, so that does mean that Nora Rengo have lost their room presence, as Bibu from above gets the kill onto Waka, who was inside of the office area. So this does allow Brid to get himself into the staging ground for Vitality. Actually, he's not going to go for that. as the Fear is going to be located on the blue stairs, and Castle's looking for the rotate as well. Very risky, and he is going to get droned out. And Zephyr, he should win this. Look at the two SMGs. SMG-12 by far should win this 9 times out of 10 with a high rate of fire, mostly just because it is a headshot machine for many people. So looking good for Vitality at the moment. They still have plenty of time in terms of the way that they play. So yeah, it should start to funnel in for Vitality. They'll start to put the pressure onto Nora Rengo. They've already lost their Legion as well, so they don't have these goo mines that could affect Vitality in the late game, as Spark does get the kill onto JJ, but then Chin with the refrag playing inside that B bar does get the kill on the Rafael, but Zephyr does get the kill onto Papine as well, so he wins that gunfight against the castle, which we were expecting. Meryu has rotated in towards the blue bar and gets that great shot onto Zephyr through the smoke. So a 2 versus 3, as Shin will get the kill on the bread, but Bibu will get the refrag. Meryu all down to him. 2 versus 1, and the plant will get stuck, as Meryu is going to dodge and dive, and we're going to see the drop connect from Bibu. Can he get the kill onto the Jaeger? No, he can't, as Meryu gets the win, but no, Spark does finish things off, clutches that round for Vitality. That went very south for Vitality.
That was an odd round for sure. It should have been a Vitality win. It was a Vitality win, but it was oh so close.
Yeah.
Inches away from a potential clutch there. And man, we've been seeing that all match so far. It's just coming down to the wire each and every one of these rounds. I've got to say, I wouldn't have anticipated this. You know, going into it, I was thinking one team or another would be very decisive and be able to rack up those wins and get a surefire 2-0, but it's not the case. We're seeing, in fact, one of the closer matches that's happened so far in these group stages, and in the oddest way possible, where it's not coming down to the end of the round and then people are clutching all the time or people are throwing all the time. It's always a back and forth. You can't really predict any of these rounds. It's so
odd. That's the word for this game, is the odd matchup between Nora Rengo and Vitality. So certainly Nora Rengo, they are playing well. Let's not just go ahead and say, yeah, they just haven't been performing well. We've seen some moments of genius from them, but they just haven't been able to close out the rounds where Vitality's taking full advantage of that. It's still pretty close, 4 rounds to 3, so still a lot of things to work for.
And that's exactly right. It's the closing out of the rounds. We saw the same exact thing from Nora yesterday. They really struggled to lock out rounds, and we're seeing it pretty prevalent today as well. Vitality, on the other hand, don't have the same issue, and I think it's born of experience. Vitality's been around for a long time, and they've been playing on the international stage for a long time. So I think that's it's a big edge that Vitality have. Nora have, the raw talent, the skill that hopefully they'll develop, cultivate, and turn into something monstrous moving forward. But they still, if you just look at it objectively, they don't have as much experience as many of the other teams at this LAN, and it's something they're going to have to. Well, you can only work on it one way.
Yeah,
and that's by practicing, and that's what we'll see them do, I'm sure.
Let's not forget as well that even if a team loses this matchup, they still get to play tomorrow against the winner of Obey and Liquid, which is still happening currently over at Rainbow Six Bravo. But this is Vitality and Nora Rengo, the winners match currently. So this is where Vitality, they already have this quick, aggressive start in towards the aquarium. And they're just going to get themselves certified and then see what they want to work with.
Just to build on what you were saying, all of the matches on this channel today, ooh, Shin with a 3-4. Perfect placement right there inside of the billiards. And Bibu will also eat a lot of damage from that. So very well placed C4. The diffuser down halfway through the round, and Nora has lost control over the top floor, but they have not lost control over the round, as they did not lose any of the roamers this time around. However, Zephyr's looking to change that.
Ooh, misses the shot. That is something that you cannot be doing in this kind of stage.
Yeah, that was a huge miss, especially with the SMG-12. It's inconsistent in its randomness, but it's a pretty powerful gun still. Now, Spark's gonna down his teammate. So
I thought he was just...
Yeah. No.
What are you doing, Spark?
Yeah. But B was going to go down, and he'll get picked up. So back to 50 HP. A little bit more efficient there for Vitality. But they only have a minute left, and it's a 3 versus 5. So not a great situation here for the attackers.
JJ getting very aggressive, just like we did see him do on the kitchen defense. So he is going to be playing that. Smoke has the aggressive SMG-11, which has been one of the best guns throughout the entirety of Siege. Bibu is going to start working with the Sophia charges as well, as Meryu does get the kill onto Spark, so it's starting to slip away from Vitality, as this is looking an easy Nora Rengo round, especially whenever Meryu is playing a very strong roam game here on that top floor. So all down to Brett, a 1 versus 5. I don't think we have seen a 1 versus 5 clutch in quite some time throughout the Pro League, but certainly it could happen, but highly, highly unlikely, as all Nora Rengo has to do is hold the angles. And Brett, all he can do is just really peek, try and get a couple of kills for himself, but certainly Nora Rengo is going to bounce back, and they're going to equal this up into a 4 rounds apiece.
Well done to Nora. The big difference here from the previous round on Double Bar, which they lost, is that they didn't lose any roamers upstairs. They were able to fall back really well without too much damage done, without any worry, and they shifted their focus immediately off of holding those attackers who were trying to push downstairs into just survive in the site. And that was a big deal. Vitality also did not have as much vertical pressure this time around, and they also lost one of their attackers pretty early on, thanks to a well-placed C4. So many things went right there for Nora, and they managed to get one of the more dominant round wins that we've seen so far through the match. As I was trying to say earlier, just a reminder for those of you who are maybe just joining us, all of the matches being played on this stream today are going to be the winners matches from yesterday, and because of that, anyone who loses on the stream is still having another chance. You know, you could bounce back, and all of the matches on the Bravo stream will be, you know, the faces will be, losers will be faced with a elimination from the tournament.
Yeah, so certainly we will be having some faces disappear. They will not be playing. They're only here for the 2 days, so, but still, we need the 16 teams, and then we're going to cut them down to 12, and then essentially then down to 8 for the weekend. So we're going to start seeing the holes coming out from Nora Rengo, a very aggressive upstairs hold for a kitchen. Like, they've put a lot of reinforcements and a lot of utility up in towards this this sphere, and then this master bedroom area as well. So it's a strategy which I feel like, yeah, you can divert some resources, especially whenever they know Vitality do like to take upstairs. So a lot of things to work with for Nora Rengo. They know the play style that Vitality want to go for is get upstairs, start opening up the floor, and start pressuring the anchors.
Yeah, here's the thing I'm really worried about. Vitality invests so heavily in just what, as you say, the taking of the top floor. And what is this? Waka with a
hello,
north balcony, and he's dead. So okay. So actually, that's worth touching on actually. So Waka, great player, cool guy, you know, and you know, he's struggling with being a little bit sick right now. But yesterday and now today, he has made some really
certainly, yeah,
foolish plays, well, with mostly to do with his positioning. You know, going into just some odd spots and allowing himself to be easily killed. And it's the sort of thing that you want to get an advantage early, but it's you know, now that Meryu has gotten Zephyr, it's not an advantage, it's a recovery. Well done to Meryu, though, getting that back into his team's favor, and all that investment that went upstairs is now kind of redundant because, well, Waka's dead, and Vitality is going to be able to just easily walk their way into this top floor.
Yeah, they're going to walk their way in because there's no Waka to stop them.
Yes, that is what is going to happen.
Let's throw the puns in there, chat. Why not? Hopefully make it, you know, a little bit of puns here and there makes it more enjoyable. But certainly Vitality have the control here. They're starting to do this Vitality type of play where they open up upstairs, they start destroying the floor. But JJ, he's going to be ready for the exact same thing he did last time.
The question is, will this vertical play work out at all? Because, like you said, last time, it didn't. Vitality really couldn't make this go in their favor. JJ's playing somewhere else entirely, but still, Vitality themselves not able to get any kills using these holes. It's been a very slow round for the attackers. They're stacking up on delivery. Looks like that's the strategy they want to go for yet again. Bibu's going to get Maryu, so that's a really good opportunity. The Candelas will blind the Valkyrie in all likelihood, who is repositioned to the corner of the doorway. Crazy, inexplicably still holding on to his life as Shin gets Bibu, and Brid will refrag immediately onto Shin. Valkyrie in the playmake position. Last time it worked out great for Nora Rengo, but this time it looks like Vitality is aware of it. We'll find out as we come down to the final 20 seconds. Vitality in the driver's seat. JJ using his gas canisters, and Crazy Papillon trying to stay alive as long as possible. The Candelas will blind the Valkyrie, and Raphael checks the corner, and he will go for the plant as Brid covers from above. A nice execution from Vitality, calculating it perfectly, not getting ahead of themselves, not going too immediately despite having such a man advantage, and they will get the round victory, putting them on match point, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, that is going to be match point for Team Vitality taking that round. So 5 rounds to 4 they will be up. Quick update for you guys. Over on Rainbow Six Bravo, they have just finished the first map between Team Liquid and Obey Alliance, where they did go to Oregon. And Obey Alliance beat Team Liquid 6 rounds to 2. We're going to have a tactical pause here currently during our game. So Vitality are just thinking about what they're going to do, seeing what they're going to work out for their final round. But certainly Obey beating Team Liquid 6 rounds to 2.
Yeah, that's a little bit odd. Obey did lose to Nora yesterday, and a lot of people... I'm sure you guys must have seen it. A lot of people were counting Obey out, so a bit of a
big upset, big surprise.
Pretty big upset, yeah. Now, interesting thing here in this match, Vitality are the ones to go for the tactical pause instead of Nora. Now, you'd think when you're on match point, or well, at least map point. It says match point in the map, but it's the map point. When you're on map point, you would be the one as the one of the the less rounds to want to take a second to calculate your decisions moving forward. But Vitality really want to hammer that final nail into the coffin, and they are going to be executing a very calculated strat in this round, I'm sure.
Yeah, certainly it gives them more to think about, what they need to work with, because this hasn't been the same easy attack strategies that we've seen from Vitality. Rengo has been playing very well against some of their strategies, so just making sure they know what they need to do. Of course, Bios, their coach, is going to have a better overview looking at what they're doing in general compared to specifically. So, yeah, certainly having Bios to give them words of wisdom to help them finally close out this round is certainly going to be something to keep in note. And that's the big thing that coaches have influence, is with these tactical timeouts.
So, Kitchen again from Nora Rengo. Instead of trying to shift their way over to a different site, they're going to stick it out. Now, the big mistake that was made last time was Waka ran out North Balcony. He was playing Jaeger. They've shifted roles. Maryu has taken up the Jaeger, and Waka is now playing Doc. The ACOG makes me want to say that he's going to play it a little bit more passively in Projector, or he's going to go for Spawn Peaks. We'll find out. Though following his previous failure on the Spawn Peak, I would assume that he will not be going for one in this round. Maryu playing Jaeger means he's going to probably support the Doc upstairs, with if not just ADSs, also with his body, because it's been a big thing for Nora that they have not managed to get a successful roam upstairs any time while defending the kitchen. Vitality clear at the top floor almost immediately into each round. And, the latest that they managed to get it is about the halfway mark, and Nora's been struggling with that pretty heavily. If they can solve that problem, then Nora might be able to push us into overtime.
Yeah, they need to have that final execution, that final endurance of the last 30 seconds, which, like you said, they've been struggling with. But against a team like Vitality, who excel in that last 30 seconds, it is no hard measure for Nora Rengo to, expect them to perform so well, because it is Team Vitality, who we've always talked about, have their own specific playstyle, different from everybody inside of the current meta. They've really set the trend for these slow, methodical pushes, where they just take what they want and they do it well.
Yeah, we saw that in the last round especially. They had an advantage for a solid 40 seconds, but they didn't just pressure it, for kills. They calculated every move they made, and it worked out great for them. Nora now have Waka still alive, and he's playing in Projector. He's got the ACOG this time, so he's going to be a little bit more lethal at this distance, but he's got to be careful of these Ying Candelas. They will very likely blind him easily. The Zofia lifelines as well going to disrupt, and here it goes. 2 Candelas to deal with Waka, but deal with Waka they will. A very easy kill following here for Raphael, but Mariu's there to refrag onto Zafir before Raphael gets his own refrag onto Mariu. 2 for the Ying, and he has control of Projector. This is what we've been seeing every single round, that Vitality has attacked onto the kitchen, and it's happening yet again. Nora cannot adapt to this strategy, and now they're going to have to face their opponents downstairs.
Big kills for Raphael. We've seen him use 2 of his Candelas, which is the exact same thing that he did last time whenever he attacked this top floor. And this is where Vitality, they are in the position they want to be. Spark just even weakens the Nora Rengo side as Smoke will be taking out JJ, who's been performing excellent on that. Smoke does get taken out. And look where Shen is going for the long rotation as a 1-speed. That's a pretty risky play because Vitality could adapt to this and just rush Crazy on site. So certainly a lot of potential and adaptation for Vitality if they want to go for it. But instead Shen is just going to be playing on these main lobby stairs. 15 seconds to go. It does come down to see how the Valkyrie does try and perform. Still has the C4, so it could deny the plant coming in, but Shen on the flank does get the kill on the bread, and he has all these holes that he can work with. Valkyrie does get split out behind the B-bomb. A very hard angle, but during that the diffuser to get planted. Great shot from Papillon, gets Raphael. C4 gets tossed out, doesn't get anything, as Bibu does dance away. Shen upstairs gets killed by Bibu, 1 versus 2. Papillon for the clutch, but no! Bibu does shut them down, and Team Vitality will take the first map on Coastline.
Bibu's positioning there was phenomenal. He dodged the C4, he said no to any engagements unless it was to his advantage. Perfectly played there from the Zofia of Bibu, and getting that victory on the first map, denying overtime, but we were so close to going to those final rounds.
Yeah, certainly big kills from respective players. Bibu played well. Shen and Waka had an excellent game, but maybe just the other 3 members didn't do what they needed to do. But certainly it's something that they can work for. But nonetheless, a very, very close matchup. And let's see how close it was with some of the highlights during that map. So we start off very strong for Vitality. Nora Rengo had a bit of a fight back, but certainly by no means a bit of a slouch from Nora Rengo. A couple of mistakes that you touched upon, but hopefully they can iron them out for this next map.
Yeah, Nora defended Kitchen 3 times, and they only managed to make it work for themselves once, and that was the first time they went there. The other 2 times, Nora tried the same real strategies defending that top floor, and it never happened. You know, and Waka, while yes, he had a really fantastic match overall, he also made some really major mistakes when he was going to for that top floor hold. If he had been able to hold on Projector just a little bit longer, he might have had success there. Now, the big thing is Raphael's Ying play. So, say what you will about mistakes from Waka, there's not a whole lot he can really do about a Ying throwing Candelas in his face, and especially when you're using 2 Candelas just to get top floor control. You can see that the Ying's usage isn't even really needed for the push onto the site, because the main priority was just, hey, let's get top floor control. You can see there are 2 highlights there for Raphael just getting that top floor control when attacking Kitchen specifically. And I honestly think that the right call there, and you know, hindsight's 2020, so I'm sure Nora's thinking this as well, just don't hold Projector. Because once Vitality gets control of that top floor, they didn't really do a whole lot with it. You know, they opened up a lot of vertical holes, but they didn't often make those holes work for them. You know, all they could do is reposition the Nora players. So in the future, I'm sure we'll see a little bit more ability to adapt there for Nora. You know, come off of the top floor hold, maybe a ban on Ying, maybe just avoiding Projector entirely. Who knows? But that's what ultimately cost them the match.
Yeah, certainly the final execution is something to take away that Nora Rengo they have to work on. Sure, they may be in the advantage with a 4 versus 2 at one stage for the blue bar, they were then ready to just hold the angles, but then the quick refrags from Bibu, and then Brid just got the defuse off, so that final execution, more or less flank coverage, I would say, is another big thing that actually both teams, I would say, need to work on. Look at Shen rotating up as a mirror on that last round, gets himself a kill as well, so certainly a lot of mistakes that both these teams have to work on, but like you said, looking at these next maps, that certainly is going to favour Vitality a lot more.
Yeah, we also saw, on the note of mistakes, we also saw a lot by both teams in the earlier rounds of the match.
Yeah,
you know, we're talking about Nora's defense, and they went to kitchen 3 of their 5 defenses, and to double bar 2 of the other 5. So they only went to 2 sites total. So not a lot of diversity there. There was potential maybe for them to work in some new strategies on other sites. But then you look over at the Vitality side of things, when Nora was attacking, Nora lost a lot of rounds that they really should have won, but also some of the rounds Vitality managed to lose were ones they should have won. So it was a really weird coastline, and I almost want to say both teams were kind of struggling to get their bearings on the map, but because, you know, Vitality, while they typically do execute similar strategies every time, usually there's a little, like, you know, a little bit of a flair, a different interpretation to each of their attack strategies, each of their defense strategies. This time it was just repeat, repeat, repeat. So maybe it's because they were going to, again, could have been coastline, who knows. The big thing is, of course, they did go to every site. So there is that one thing. When they were defending, went to every different defense.
Yeah, a lot of diversity for Vitality. A very odd game. Let's put a stamp on that as one of the oddest matchups I believe we've seen. But certainly it is going to be an interesting series. I don't know. This could potentially go to the third map if Rengo have ironed out the mistakes. If they've managed to talk about what they need to do better. They do have a little break here just to talk about what they need to figure out and what they need to work on. But certainly the way whenever Vitality get that momentum, whenever they have their team working, synergizing really, really well, then it does start to look pretty sad for the Japanese team.
Yeah, the main thing that worries me is, like you say, maybe Nora will have time in between these maps to iron things out. But they had time in between yesterday and today to iron things out. And they're making the same mistakes today that they made yesterday. So it's a little bit worrisome. I don't know if this is going to be enough for them to be able to, you know, make the necessary changes to really come in strong and get these decisive wins. But, you know, I mean, really, everybody makes mistakes. Every team makes mistakes, and as long as they can, you know, push past them, I think that they've got a good chance.
Yeah, and it will be Clubhouse coming up next, and that is where we're going to dive into the new Clubhouse. We haven't seen it being played during the Paris Major, but this is going to be the first time we're going to be seeing it. Vitality will start on the attack, and Nora Rengo will start in the defense this time, so they're going to switch, and it will be Nora Rengo on the bans first.
Okay, so here we go. Typical Nora Rengo style, they will be taking their time with their bans, really calculating this decision and possibly just trying to psych out their opponent. You know, they do this consistently, and I don't know of any teams that go into a ban phase not knowing what they want to ban. So I'm pretty sure this is just done to keep their opponent on their toes. Glazman, yet again, this is the second time banning Glaz. This makes a lot of sense. I mean, people would point a finger at Ying and go, oh, why not ban Ying? Vitality is one of the few teams that still really, you know, hammers her out. You know, she's still a very powerful operator, don't get me wrong, but Vitality likes Ying a lot. They also like Glaz. Yeah,
Glaz is more influential for their kind of pushes where they would use the Ying as more of an aggressive, yeah, let's get in the site, whereas Glaz is more of the smoke the doorway, and then Glaz is like that Overwatch protector where it just shuts down anybody who wants to try and retake the bomb site, may it be even a smoke, just trying to throw a smoke grenade, he can shut him down as well, while simply you have players there who just plant at the doorway, so it's certainly one of the better bans, but Habana and Echo, so both of the Japanese operators are going to be banned, so the Japanese team cannot play the Japanese operators.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously just because they're very powerful operators, to be honest, though. I mean, Habana as a hard destructor on Clubhouse, not being there means that the basement site is going to be incredibly strong. And, well, I mean, all of the sites are really going to be incredibly strong. You think about it, your 3 standard bomb sites on this map are going to be Basement, Master, and Cache. Master is basically just Cache extended. Cache is something you need a Thermite for in the first place. And then the Basement has so many drop-downs. So Thermite going to be picked every single round, obviously. And it's going to be a really big match with the hard destruction. Watching Thermite is going to be something that yeah, pay attention to Thermite. That's all I'm saying. Whether or not he gets his objective is going to really, I think, dictate the outcome of each of these attack rounds.
And the fact that Hibana got banned out, that really then did more or less force Nora Rengo to ban out the Mira, because Hibana's one of the biggest counters to a Mira. So whenever you see, hold on a minute, they are 100% going to go for these Mira strategies because they don't have to worry about Hibana that we can't play. So let's just ban out the Mira as well, so none of us can play it. So Hibana and Mira are, you know, kind of polar opposites, where Hibana is the biggest counter to the Mira window. So then getting rid of that just forces Nora Rengo to then change up their ban. So they probably have had to change that, I would say, because they did let it through in Coastline. So that tells us, yeah, they're happy enough with playing Mira as well. So really interesting picks. I would probably say one of the most diverse lineup that we've had in quite some time as well. So yeah, it's looking pretty good for Nora Rengo at this stage, because they don't have to worry about them Mira windows.
Yeah, absolutely. Vitality, on the other hand, on attack, have brought a Montaigne, which is, you know, usually I'd say if you're going to bring a Montaigne, it's to attack cash. But you can use a Montaigne pretty well on the basement as well. Also, it's impossible for Vitality to tell what site they're going to be attacking, so having a diverse lineup is important. Okay, so they could attack from either Dirt Tunnel, they could attack from the blue. You know, Monty has a lot of potential applications on this side. You know, as the spectator is trying to highlight, you can come just from those the storage room through the blue hallway, or you can come through this Dirt Tunnel. Now, the problem with Dirt Tunnel is that you have to commit a Thermite charge to it. Since you only can open up 2 things, if you open up the Dirt Tunnel, it also means that you are only going to get 1 drop down aside from that tunnel. So you have to choose, basically, and that's not a great choice to make. You want to be able to get 2 drops if possible. So we'll see what Vitality choose to go for. Ultimately, it comes down to their strategy. You could see their first priority is clearing out the roamers, which is a hard thing to do after the last Clubhouse update. It used to be you could not roam while defending Clubhouse Basement. Like, it's just impossible. The attackers would drone you out, they would pinch you, and it would always work against you. But now, with all these extra rooms added, all this extra cover added, there's so many more things for the attackers to drone, it's a possibility. However, Nora Rengo seems to have forgone that possibility.
It's certainly seeming like a very much pre-Hibana kind of setup that Vitality are going for. It's almost reminiscent of the year 1's season 1, 2, and 3.
If they open up Church Wall,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Especially because Vitality back in DreamHack Valencia, they played Ints in this map, and they Ints banned out the Glance, really brought the Montagne, and this is a push that they went for, was the Church Wall push, which is it's a very, very old, very...
it's the original basement attack.
This is what Clubhouse used to be before the new one, but it still works. It still has them 3 walls intact. It never really got affected by the changes that happened, but certainly, this is a push that Vitality are proficient at, as Spark already starts things off, gets the kill onto Waka. So a 5 versus 4 gets rid of the Jaeger, who probably non-detrimental, but like you were talking about, the very, very old strategy of the old Church Wall. Is this bringing back memories, would you say?
It truly is, yeah. You do have an Ella playing in the black box corner, which is a very powerful position to have. The gas canisters will stall this out a lot as well. So the Montaigne is going to have trouble making this push happen, but he's got all the tools he needs. He spots out the Ella and forces her back to Wine Cooler, which is still a very powerful position, but the defenders are starting to stack up, and Rafael is going to be able to get Mariu as a result. Smoke playing behind the A-bomb and being called out by Zephyr, and this could be a potentially easy kill for the attackers. Oh no! Zephyr. A huge misplay for the Montaigne, ADSing, and Papillon's gonna go ahead and say, no, you cannot do that. Bibu gets Shin, crazy, refrag immediately onto Rafael. Spark back and forth here, gets Papillon, and that's Church control, leaving JJ the final defender, but only 2 seconds. If he can stop the defuse plant, he can win the round. He's gonna have to get past Bibu, though, playing the hard angle, 90 degrees there, just around the corner. Cannot win the initial fight on the black box, and as he comes around, Spark will be the one to get the final kill. JJ goes down, Vitality win round number 1.
So this first round already makes me feel very worrisome for Nora Rengo, because what Vitality just did is exactly what that is Vitality in their element. That is their prime kind of push where everything goes well, they take what they want, and then they just do what Vitality does best.
And this is, you know what's funny? So that strategy we just witnessed, it was the original attack strategy onto the basement. That was pretty much, at least in North America, that was pretty much the first thing that people went to, is like, hey, we can open up this church wall and then we can see everything in the site. Let's do that. And you know, it's odd to see it again, but it didn't fall out of style because it stopped working necessarily. It fell out of style because people developed more intricate strategies. But sometimes intricacy isn't necessarily something you want to lean on in Siege. And more importantly, Nora Rengo might not even know about that strategy because of how old it is. I mean, they weren't necessarily. I don't believe they were playing in the North America, exposed to the North American or European meta in the very first couple seasons. You know, as players individually, they might have been playing then, but as a team, they probably weren't exposed to that meta. So that might be a little bit of an odd strategy for Nora to be dealing with, and it's forgivable that they lost that round on the defensive basement. Still. Yeah, bringing back memories.
Yeah, and you were just touching upon where it was the only push you could go for, and you talked about where new strategies were developed. That's because of the introduction to Habana, where you can open up all the hatches, and then also because Mira was so predominant on them walls. I always remember Evil Geniuses, they would just use both of the Mira windows, and basically make a big smiley face right in that triple wall. So certainly the old format, the old play style of the pre-Habana certainly did work, and because Mira's not there, and also because Habana's not there, that's what you kind of have to do, is play around as if it is back to year one.
Yeah. Well, it certainly worked out for Vitality. Now, Nora is aware of this. You can tell they are expecting the same strategy to come out, especially with that camera placement. It's pretty obvious. But Vitality have their options still. They could go for a blue push. You know, they could go for a dirt tunnel push, collapse onto the kitchen. They don't have to commit themselves fully to attacking the church wall. But their main priority is yet again going to be clearing out the roamers. You can see Raphael will be droning for Zephyr into this top floor, and Mariu is the one to try and catch this Montaigne off guard. However, he will be unsuccessful in that endeavor. At least the Gers Mont will detonate and force the unshield, and a little bit of damage comes out. But this is possibly one of the worst guns to be shooting at a Montaigne. You know, you want a Jaeger's carbine. 416 is great for shooting at the legs or hands of a shield, but Scorpion's not doing a whole lot of damage to those extremities, and because of that, it's going to be a bit of an odd engagement. Ooh, bad timing there for Spark, and Waka gets a free kill. Great positioning in just the strip hallway, and Nora put themselves up 1 kill. Those roamers really coming into play.
That is probably the riskiest place you can play on Clubhouse, because once you get found out, you're cut off. You cannot escape from that strip club anymore, and it did work for him. Spark, sloppy droning. We talked about this with Nora Rengo, where they just didn't drone out. It got Spark 3 kills, and this time it's going to be the other way around. But certainly I can see Zephyr starting to push in towards that strip club, just gains the intel, tries to find out exactly where Waka is. But this is Waka he's going up against as well, so that's going to be very strong, and he's wasting so much time. That guy is going to be... What is this rotation? Look at this. That was the sledge hole that Spark actually made as well. That worked so well for Waka. Probably the best rotation I think I've ever seen used in Clubhouse. That was extremely well played, as the fear is going to come in like this human drone. But Waka has done his job. Look how much time he's wasted. He even gets that down as well before Zephyr finishing him off. JJ got a kill onto Bebu as well, down in towards that bomb site as well, and the time is just ticking down. They haven't even managed to get the thermite, and there's another roamer in the form of Shin using them blue stairs as another rotation option. Raphael knows he's there, flashbang goes out, and it's going to be the runaway from the Valkyrie. What a roam game from Nora Rengo. They have just wasted all of the time that Vitality had. We're seeing Zephyr just ADS down the corridor, smoke canisters go out, Brett pushes in, and that will be the round for Nora Rengo. The best round that Nora Rengo needed was just shown.
That was a perfectly played basement defense from Nora. And the big thing there is they understand Vitality and how Vitality plays. Usually, the French are able to get themselves into the site, even in the dying seconds of the round. And you saw there, they were very close to getting that defuse plant down. They were very close to stopping the timer, but it just did not happen. And it's all thanks to a deep roam from Waka inside of Strip Club. It just, like you said, the big thing there is usually that is some sort of thing that gets you killed. It gets you cut off, and you just don't help your team at all. But because of some lazy droning from Vitality, they could not get that kill, and Spark was felled early.
Yeah, certainly Vitality, that is what they don't want to face, is a very heavy roam game, especially with late rotations. For example, we've talked about how both these teams don't cover their flanks all too well. So having then the Valkyrie rotate as well was a big play in my eyes, using that adaptability to know, yeah, if they're fighting Waka over in Strip, that means they're not going to be worrying about the blue stair, so let me rotate up and try and get a pick for myself or just waste even more time. That's exactly what happened, but Nora Rengo is going to have to go up in towards the cache, which I would say Vitality excel in, is pushing this particular bomb site with the cache, because it is so simple with the Montagna. This is a push that they've gone for against Instant DreamHack Valencia, where they just use the Montagna to walk up the garage onto the catwalk. And really the only thing that matchup, Vitality and Int, was why Vitality just didn't landslide that, was because you had players in Int like Gumphy who played it extremely well as a Jaeger on the catwalk. So possibly we could see Papillon play exactly the same way with a very, very aggressive Jaeger with all his ADS was ready to stop flashbangs or smokes or anything that may come out as well.
Yeah, well, the strategy is almost undoubtedly going to be, as you said, the Montaigne going in through garage. And then Spark will be grenading the Bandit of Mariu, who's going to be trying to deny the server wall from being thermited open. And that's going to be the two big mechanics in all likelihood. That's usually what we see happen on this defense. There's also a Thatcher, so maybe no nades needed. Depends on how active Mariu is on the server wall. But you want to get that server wall open so you can establish crossfire onto the defenders and isolate the B bomb site. Of course, Nora is conscious of this, and they will be positioning themselves accordingly.
So Vitality, they're going to take their time. They're going to figure out, yeah, what is the setup that Nora Rengo is going to have. And for the most part, it's going to be a 5-man anchor on the bomb site's only real player. Whoa, that was...
No, this setup right now, they have the Thatcher perfectly timed. They're going to get rid of the ADS.
That's going to be pretty good, this.
And they've got the nade primed to throw in and to deny the Bandit tricking. This is perfect timing if they land it, but it doesn't look like they're going to. Mariu tries to trick the wrong wall, and Rafael manages to get it open.
Yeah, this is where whenever you don't have whenever you don't have the ADSs, whenever the Thatcher gets rid of, it's a very easy nade. As Papillon, who we were talking about, can he play very well inside of that catwalk? He does that, as he does take out the Thermite, but loses a lot of health. Zephyr, a Montagna on that low health, he's going to get killed by one Guman unless he does get reset, which is viably possible. I've seen Vitality reset at 1 minute, so that could be a thing. But look where Shin is playing aggressive as a smoke. This is something that we always worry about, seeing these aggressive smokes in these positions where they can lose the gunfights. But Vitality, they've slowed down a lot more. They have taken this time to go for the reset. This is no surprise for Vitality. All they need is about 15 seconds to go for their final push and get the plant down. If Vitality can get the plant down at 1 second, they're happy with what they're doing. So certainly Vitality, they're going to have to start moving here. 30 seconds. Bread is going to be rotated out towards the balcony so he can start trying to get rid of Papillon inside the catwalk, as that is going to be Zephyr looking right at him. They know exactly where he is, and they're actually going to see Shin as well downstairs. A Spark gets the kill. Papillon on very low health, and that is going to be the kill going out for Zephyr with the Montagna. So 3 members left. Mariu, Waka and JJ are going to be the only hope for Nora Rengo to stop this round. Smoke grenades do get thrown in, so this is where Brett can go for the plant, the very typical plant spot. Mariu still holding on them stairs as JJ's going to impact it, go for the jump in, sees one, and he actually going to get the double kill as Waka stole that from him, but he does get down in the process and killed, and Mariu actually clutches that round for Nora Rengo as Brett did not get the plant in time. I believe that's probably about 1 second before that plant went down. What a clutch from Nora Rengo!
Beautifully played from Vitality, but they just didn't have what it takes in the dying seconds of the round to get the defuse plant yet again. Nora has really found out the formula for beating Vitality, and it's just have enough people alive in the last 15 seconds and then go for a retake. It's really that simple, and it's worked out for them now twice. So, well, I guess the first time it was more just the roamers, but the retake was in a great position that round, and they did manage to have someone in a position to stop the defuse plant late. The big thing for me to take away from that round was actually the Thatcher attack strategy for Vitality. Interestingly, they weren't using their nades at all to try and deny the bandit. You can Thatcher bait and switch with a grenade, get the kill onto the bandit and the wall open, and that's usually what we'll see most teams do, but it just didn't happen. Either way, a nice attack strategy from Vitality. They just needed a little bit more teeth in the end there.
So we will be moving into the gym and the bedroom for Nora Rengo. This is going to be their first attempt. And this is a bomb site where, yes, we have seen more play, I would say, than the bar and stockroom primarily. And especially with these new strategies where typically teams just like to castle off the entirety of B, and then they have the bandit going for the bandit trick on that double jacuzzi wall, but also we can see the impact trick as well, which teams have used a lot more commonly.
Yes, the bandit tricking will happen, or probably just an initial layer of batteries, and then he'll just go play somewhere else. The main thing is the impact. There's really, I mean, we've got a ban Habana. So, and there is no floor that's destructible on the jacuzzi balcony, so you can't do the floor thermite trick, which means that wall is essentially inaccessible to the attackers, as long as the impact grenades are not missed by Nora. And let's be honest, I don't think they're going to miss their impact grenades.
No, they've trained for this or else they wouldn't try it.
Absolutely. So that means that Vitality is forced to clear from cache into construction into the actual master bedroom. And that's why master is considered one of the really good sites. You know, some teams even using it as their primary site. It's basically just cache defense, but extended. Now, in this case, interestingly, Nora's actually not going to be playing inside of cache, which is, in my opinion, a huge oversight. You know, this is what makes the site so good, is you can stall out. However, given Zephyr's efficiency on Montaigne throughout this match, I could see why Nora would make that decision. I can totally get in the boat. It's likely Zephyr would have cleared out the roamers regardless of how well they would have played. And this is actually, remember when they were trying to defend Kitchen on Coastline just prior? Nora was unable to deny the Ying from just clearing the roamers upstairs every single round. This, to me, seems like they're cutting that dead weight early, and they're just saying, hey, we know that they're going to clear out our roamers inside of cache. Let's hold the site.
Yeah, they're certainly going for the 5-stack anchor there. Trying to put all of the utility that they can have at their disposal, but equally we do see a lot of utility being used by Vitality. First of all, get rid of the castle barricades. Baby's going to see that there's another one he has to deal with, but even if that castle barricade gets rid of as well, there's also going to be another layer of protection for Waka, as there's a deployable shield being located as well. So Zephyr, he's going to start calling out, being this human drone that we talk about that shield operators can play, whether you're a Blitz or a Montaigne. Montaigne a little bit more safer in that context, because you just can't die compared to the Blitz. And this is where Waka is going to go for the bandit trick, but he misses it as Bebu gets the angle.
Wow.
Whoa, that's a very, very hard shot to pull off for Bibby, but he makes it work. One of the best fraggers for Vitality, one of the best aimers in EU, and certainly he is showing it. But then Chin, one of the best fraggers in the APAC, is going to get killed, but Spark, he is going to get the refrag as he is going to be inside of that office area. Papillon playing very aggressive on the stairs, is holding the angle. Rafael just runs in, gets the kill onto Mariu. Papillon, you have to do something to help your teammates, but Spark does go for the peek, and JJ's going to be right beside Montaigne, and he misses it. But Rafael will clean things up, and Team Vitality square it off 2 rounds apiece.
Okay, so evidently Nora does not know how to defend Master. So the first oversight was the lack of defense inside of cache. That's the big thing with Master. The reason it's a good site is you can extend yourself over to cache. Sure, that you open yourself off to being cut off in the rotation, but it's essentially a double anchor. You don't necessarily, it's not the sort of roam strategy where, oh, you peel back, you peel back. You can if the enemy lets you, but usually you just want to hold on to cache as long as you can. And yeah, there's a Fear playing really well on Montaigne. maybe you need to play your Smoke over there. Maybe you need to play your Legion over there. Whatever the case, you need to play a Roam on Cash to delay, if nothing else. Now, aside from that, the Jacuzzi wall being opened up just should not happen. You have 2 sets of impact grenades. Are you unaware of the impact trick? I can't imagine that you are. The bandit tricking missed, unfortunately, because like you said, the shot was hit, and the bandit was dispatched before he was able to get it down. So, but just so many layers of oops there from Nora. After the Jacuzzi even, I mean, JJ sitting on the B-bomb, he was baiting for the Montaigne to come around, and he got the opportunity, he just didn't make it work.
Should have been a free kill for him in every context, but...
Legion trap in the foot, and
he couldn't do anything. He was pulling it out whenever JJ stood up and started shooting him, and then Zephyr said, oh, hello, who are you? And then he just puts his shield up against him. But yeah, certainly Vitality, they had the strategy there. The fact that that bandit trick didn't work is probably the thing to take away from that round. That should never happen. You have Castle Barricade to pull up a shield.
I mean, honestly, it shouldn't even be the bandit tricking. The bandits should go down as the initial layer of defense, but your impact should be the primary form of denial.
They had a Legion with impact.
Yeah, and they even had a castle likely still had an impact or 2.
He used 1 for a rotate, I believe.
Right. So maybe he had an impact left. Regardless, they had them. They could have used them there. I mean, no matter the case, it was a bit of an oversight. And you know, hey, and then also the cash roams. Like, if you're gonna put your Legion inside a cache, then have him use his impacts for the rotations, and then have Castle stay by the Jacuzzi wall. I mean, no matter what, the Jacuzzi wall should never be opened up.
No.
It's happened though, and again, as we talked about earlier, everyone makes mistakes. So hopefully, for Nora's sake, they won't make any more of those. Now, Waka, heavy roam inside of server. And he is going to be just looking to delay as long as he can. He did the same thing over by Strip. Last time there was a basement defense for Nora, and this seems to be their favorite site. Ooh, this could be a really big mistake here for Waka if he gets exposed.
Bibu.
Yep, Bibu, perfect positioning. So that was actually a spawn peek, I think, that was made by Waka earlier in the round to look towards construction. And now it's worked against him.
Yeah, Bibu used that to get his drone in towards that ashram area, so that was very smartly done by Bibu. We're seeing the Jackal being picked up for the first time inside this matchup, and especially whenever Vitality struggled with the roam game, this is definitely a good pickup for them. This gives them the adaptability to go for these roamers and hunt them. It just lets them see where they actually ran to, so you can see the direction of the footprints as well. And whenever you have a break on like the C7E, you can't really go wrong with having a good fragger behind it, such as Spark, who is performing well. Bibu, he's going to rotate himself in towards the blue stairs area along with Bred, get rid of the ADSs that could potentially be there, but there's going to be none, as Nora Rengo did decide to not bring that. Instead, they went for the more trap heavy with the Elo Mines and also the Legion U traps as well. So a minute to go. This is Vitality still playing into their playstyle. They have plenty of time to go for the push. They just going to get everything in position. It could be another church wall push. They've sacrificed not having the Montaigne this time, but still they have the potential push with these smoke canisters as well. They have 2 on the Dokkaebi and also 2 on the Jackal, and Rafael is going to go for it, but we're going to be seeing the impact trick. This time you did it. You didn't do it on the Jacuzzi, but you're going to do it here. Hello?
And it won't work. 2 impacts from JJ. He misses them both. Spark will get JJ as a result. 25 seconds left. Vitality have a 2-man advantage here on their church push, and Rafael will get Crazy Papillon from behind that bomb. He's going to go for the defuse plant by Black Box, and the... Ooh, what a peek from Shin. He was supposed to lose that one. He manages to make it work for him. Maryu also getting a frag before being dispatched, and it's all up to a 1 bullet's worth of HP Shin, who cannot win the fight against Brid. Vitality, a clean execution there in the last 30 seconds, and really not much being shown from Nora to stop it.
Excellently played from Vitality. They knew what they needed. The impact trick didn't work. That baffles me. You try it on the church, which didn't work, whenever you could have went for it for the upstairs. I don't understand this. So it is very, very intriguing, very interesting that they're not going to go for it. And we're actually going to have our tactical timeout for Nora Rengo this time. So they're going to be thinking about what they're going to be working on.
Yeah, this is the right time to take a tactical pause. So the impact tricking, I think, unfortunately, I think it's something that they haven't really practiced well enough. They don't have it down pat. And it's something, it's one of those things it's kind of an emergent skill right now. It's not something that's standard within Pro League per se, but it's becoming so, and you really do need to figure it out before you play any more matches. Now, luckily, that's something that Nora can look at, even if they do lose this match. So the big thing here is Vitality have won the first half, and they did it on attack with Habana banned. So that is a really big deal for Vitality. When they go into defense, it's likely that they're going to have a complete lockout. And it was a number of those rounds were due to poor impact tricking. But that is something, again, that, if Nora loses here, they're going to have a second chance, so they can practice impact tricking in the interim and come back with that knowledge moving forward.
They don't even have to go clubhouse against their opponents. Who knows? They may not even have to do that. But yeah,
any map really.
Certainly, they just they need to work on these, like, they're tiny mistakes. They're not huge mistakes that rookies make. These guys are pro players.
Yeah, but we're looking at Vitality right now, and every tiny mistake you make, Vitality is going to capitalize. They are going to find that opportunity that you're giving them, and they're going to seize it and wrestle it to the ground. And that's what they've been doing so far. I have to say, if Nora weren't making some of these really small mistakes, it would probably be a 5-0 right now.
Yeah, this could be a completely different game for all we know. Coastline could have been a whole lot different as well.
Same thing, yeah, it was the same thing on Coastline, honestly. I mean, both, but I mean, again, it's all hindsight. This is the thing. We have the top-down perspective. We can see through the walls. We have all this information at our fingertips. And we can see what the mistakes that are being made is. Nora, adapting in the middle of a match, it's a tricky thing to pull off. So they have managed to get all those 2 rounds. No, this is where it gets really difficult, though, because a banned Habana clubhouse means that this is a defensive favored map. So Vitality starting the second half, going into defense already with the round advantage, they're going to be in a really good spot.
Attackers recovered the bomb diffuser.
So we're going to be seeing the Alibi being picked up for the first time inside of the matchup. So Clubhouse is a map where we have seen quite a bit of Alibi play. It just throws off your opponents. Cashroom's a good place in my eyes, especially round towards them cabinets areas. It just makes the attackers think twice before they're shooting. You always have to be cautious of that. But certainly everybody at this stage kind of knows what you're looking for as an Alibi. You know what the figure's like, because typically no one just stands still in the middle of a room for the most part. But certainly we're going to be seeing the Blitz being brought into play. So this is going to be more of an aggressive lineup for Nora Rengo, especially whenever they have the buck as well. So this tells us that they want to use this this heavy destruction as well. So a lot of good lineup for Nora Rengo, a lot of operators that work well together. You have the hard breachers, well, the one hard breacher, and also the soft destruction. There's 3 forms of soft destruction there in that team, which just helps out Waka in most cases. Mariu is going to start things off, as that will be Rafael falling, so a big kill already. Jaeger off the board.
Yeah, one of the roamers already gone, but there are so many for Vitality. They are heavily invested in this top floor, middle floor roam. You can see Nora is starting to drone out and get that information. They've established that Gym is clear and Master is clear, and that means that the entire top floor has been cleared up, which now they can shift their focuses downstairs, but Bibu roaming over by the strip hallway. Spark will fall back all the way. The C4 prepped above the door, and the Blitz is just not going to move through until, he gets an opportunity, flashes Bibu, and losing some HP, but able to get the actual kill, which is the most important thing. Valkyrie dispatch, as you would expect a roamer to be dealt with on Clubhouse. This is a very, very well done roam clear from Nora. I have to give him massive props for this. Waka has taken some HP off, but he's going to be able to probably dictate one more engagement as a Blitz.
Yeah, Blitz has been very detrimental, especially clearing out the roam game. Shen is going to get himself a kill onto Zephyr, so a 5 versus 2. Everything that Nora Rengo needed to go well has went well, as Spark and Bread will be the only 2 members left alive for Vitality. Smoke canister does get put out, and Waka managed to survive that smoke canister. And he also is going to force Bread in towards that construction tunnel, the last place he wants to be as well, as Bread will actually get the kill onto Waka, as he kind of went in and went out again for the aggressive play, as he knew he needed to go for that, as Spark is going to be still inside of the blue, as JJ will get the kill onto Bread as he pushes in towards the corridor area. Spark left in a 1 versus 4, down to below 25 HP. Sees Shin, but does not manage to land the shots, but Shin will, and Nora Rengo gets round number 6 on the board.
So, first round of the second half there for Nora, and a perfect execution. Really, absolutely stellar. On the other hand, Vitality struggling with their roamers. Bad positioning. Bibu playing in the strip hallway rather than committed strip. It just seemed like he wasn't sure what he wanted to do there. And the same thing was happening with the other roamers as well. You know, we saw those roamers, for example, inside of Office, fall off when potentially they could have wasted some more time. Just all around the board, some mistakes made from Vitality, and Nora now conversely able to capitalize on those mistakes. So it's you know, you switch sides and you switch roles apparently.
Yeah, certainly with that Bibu room, we seen how Waka played that strip club. Yeah, Waka committed to that hold where he was essentially trapped. Bibu, I believe, he thought of the idea, if I go in the strip, I'm going to die because I'm going to be trapped. You're going to die anyway, so why not just take that extra 15 seconds away from Nora Rengo, which could have helped your teammates in the long run. Could have even helped somebody go for another late rotate as well. Could have given them that 15 seconds to know, yeah, all of them are going to try and kill me, so that leaves the flanks open and clear. And the way that Nora Rengo haven't been holding their flanks, that should be where Vitality has that little light bulb in their head going, yeah, we can actually just do that and take advantage of that.
Yeah, potentially the late roam could have been really detrimental. I mean, if you look over especially at Garage and the blue staircase into storage, there were not players from Nora holding those flanks. Either of these could have been used from Vitality if their deep roamers had instead been in sight, ready to late flank, instead of roaming and getting themselves, unfortunately, for Vitality killed. However, again, hindsight. So, next round, we now have Nora going into an attack of Master. So Vitality's site selection is much more in line, I think, with the North American European meta. Nora seemed to lean heavily on the basement. Even after losing the basement, they went back down to basement again. They managed to make it work their second time, but Vitality, after losing the basement, is going to just shift. They're going to say, oh, we'll go Master instead. So that could be the experience shining through for Vitality, but it might not be enough to get them the round win. Looks like Nora does have all the tools they're going to need in order to attack this site. Now, the big thing is that Jacuzzi wall. I cannot see Vitality letting that get opened up. And if it's not opened up, the only other way to really attack this site is to come from Cash Room. You can see Vitality are choosing to forego the roam in Cash Room as well. So similar strategies being played from both teams. You know, it's kind of weird. It's like the Obey-Nora match we saw yesterday. Nora and Obey played so much like each other, and now it's Nora and Vitality playing so much like each other, but these are two very different play styles.
Extremely different. It's probably the two teams that, you know, look at Nora Rengo. They're very aggressive. Just look at the way they're playing these attacks with players like Shin and Waka, and then Vitality, who are the slowest team inside of the competitive scene at this stage. So there is a lot of things that both these teams have in favor of one another, but certainly, like you said, they are playing the exact same way, but possibly that's because it fits into the play style that Clubhouse does fall under, where you have to play very strategically, you have to follow these rules, these step-by-steps, because there's not a lot of deviation really that teams can go for.
This round is really interesting so far. So they're dedicated bandit tricking the Jacuzzi wall, and instead of using their impact there, they're using their impacts over in Office. You see they've pre-opened the hole to try and deny the Office wall. So they're spreading themselves a little bit thin here, Vitality, but they are getting everything, you know, cinched up, and Nora doesn't seem to have any tools at their disposal to deal with this. Here comes the final push though. Or no, it's going to be stopped from gas canisters, and Vitality will get 2 kills on a JJ and Shin, thanks to a poorly timed push. Only 30 seconds left, and now a 2-man disadvantage for Nora.
So it is going to be Seth Fear. He was inside of the A-bomb, does get shut down by Mariu, as he got a double kill for himself, as Rafael will also fall. So Bread Baby and Spark, the last man up for Vitality. Mariu gets a free K for himself. Spark has had to rotate his way in towards the corridor to take up that fallen position where Kapatow was, as Baby does get down. Mariu, he wants his 4K, and as it is going to be Blitz gets the kill. Waka is also going to go for another one, but Spark actually shoots him whenever he was flashed as well, so the Fuser did get planted by Papayan. Mariu and Papayan are going to be the last 2 members up for Nora Rengo. as Spark will rotate and he does get spotted out. The constant tags as well from those Maestro cameras, and that will be Meryu getting himself a 4K. What a round from the Ash player.
That is the definition of winning on skill. There was no strategy really being employed there from Nora. Everything went wrong for them, and then suddenly an Ash runs into sight and gets a 4K. And that's it. That is the end of the round. Vitality played it well. They denied the entry into the office wall. They denied the jacuzzi wall. They denied all of the lanes, but then as soon as they start getting into their fights, they can't win anything.
So, also on the other stream, Rainbow Six Bravo. The biggest upset we could have ever expected inside of the Paris Major. Obey Alliance knocks out Team Liquid 6 rounds to 4. What a match that must have been. Obey Alliance, one of the weaker sides that we expected going in, knocks out the world champions Team Liquid.
That's pretty insane, yeah. Team Liquid coming off of a season win. And then Obey, one of the, as you said, one of the lowest ranked teams in all of North America right now, and Team Liquid just won't be playing at this tournament anymore, I suppose. That is very odd. Are you sure it was a 2-0?
This seems to be a 2-0 unless
that's so
production's
weird.
wrong, but I highly doubt it.
Yeah, 2-0 confirmed. That's just not supposed to happen. This has been a weird tournament so far, wouldn't you say, Harry?
Yeah, big upset. That was the one which we were expecting Liquid looking at their group. It's like, yeah, easy Liquid. But no, they get beat by Vitality, and then they get beat by Obey. Vitality is struggling against Nora Rengo. Possibly it's just because Team Liquid, maybe they're just weak.
I'm not sure. Maybe this event has had them in, you know, a little bit of an odd position. I mean, I know that, for example, Ness just did have a kid, so... You know, maybe something's on his mind. He's a little bit distracted. It's possible, which would be understandable.
Yeah, certainly Nesk has always been the biggest player for that team. He is the top fragger in Latin America for a reason. He's top fragger, I believe, in all of Europe as well for a reason, because he's that good. But like you said, he's just recently started his own family as well, so that may be another thing that he does have on his mind. But nonetheless, congrats to Obey Alliance, who will be moving on to play the loser of this game between Team Vitality and Nora Rengo. If Nora Rengo does lose this map, then they will be having a rematch. Obey Alliance and Nora Rengo will face off against each other once again like they did just yesterday. But will we see a new matchup if Nora Rengo do manage to pull these next two maps out of the bag and send Vitality down to the loser bracket, the home favourite inside of this competition?
Well, Nora are close to match point, just a round away. And they're attacking onto a very different bomb site here, as you can see. It's going to be the cash room. So Vitality have brought us to 3 different bomb sites in 3 different rounds. And they have not been able to make any of them work for them. They've been really struggling on the defense, whereas Nora is really coming into their own on attack. Just about the opposite of what you would expect given the map and the operator bans, but it's what's happening, and it is interesting to see. Last round, Vitality really should have won, but Meryu was just really feeling it in the round, and he was able to get a 4K waltzing into sight. I doubt that will happen a second time, but still, Vitality are playing this very well so far, at least strategically. They've managed to lock out the Nora attack and force them on a stall, and they have still control over the garage, which is very important. It means there's potential for a late retake. It also means that Vitality doesn't have to deal with much of a crossfire. It's the construction take through and through here from Nora. This is a lot different than what you usually see on this site, and Spark's gonna get the first kill onto JJ.
So that will be Spark, who was inside of the garage, gets himself a kill, but then Shin will get the refrag, performing very well on that Sophia currently. Rafael also going to be down there. This is where Waka's going to go for the blitz push, as Bibi's going to try and fight at the window. Very risky peak to go for, especially against Shin. And this is where the plant's actually going to be going down for Nora Rengo, as Papayos managed to get himself inside of the A-bomb. That is going to be Spark overshooting that C4. Doesn't land anything. Rafael on that flank does get a kill. A Spark and also gets killed. The Shen just misses the Claymore, and that will be the kill from that Claymore. We're also going to be seeing the down from Waka, so a 1 versus 3 Meryu. Can he perform what he did do last time? He gets the 1, and he gets the triple kill. Meryu clutches that round, and it sends Nora Rengo into, it's going to be match point for them in Clubhouse.
What was that? 2 rounds in a row for Meryu to cinch it out for his team. He had the down on the flanking player, and then he was able to get the final 2 attackers who were pressuring the defuse plant. And we will see, I believe, a tactical pause following that clutch from Meryu's Ashe.
That's going to be Team Vitality's tactical pause. Certainly what they need to do at that stage. Unexpected. I thought that was going to be just an easy retake for Vitality like they're used to doing these strong retakes, but no. Meryu performing big for his team.
There were a couple mistakes made there from Vitality, but ultimately it does come down to good teamwork from Nora. They're putting a lot of the fragging power, or a lot of the fragging pressure rather, onto Meryu specifically, which is the standby role of an Ashe. That is what the Ashe is there to do. But Meryu is really filling that role perfectly, and you don't often see that. The ability to take all of the frag potential and, you know, actually make it work for you. And especially in that position, what he just pulled off, he was the flank hold in that round. He was not the primary entry frag. He was flank hold, post-plant designation, and he made it work. He did both of those roles perfectly.
Yeah, we've seen that Rafael did go for that flank. I'd imagine that's probably where the 3rd kill came from, as he did manage to get that down. Meryu, and then he just had to quickly get that kill and then flick right onto the other 2 members of Vitality. So what a clutch. Still 1 round away. It's easily doable for Vitality if that tactical timeout has helped them. They've got their heads in, they've cleared their heads, they know what they need to do. It certainly can help them in most cases, but looking at the way that Meryu's playing, who is hard carrying his team at the moment, this certainly is looking like a Nora Rengo victory, and we will be headed into Consulate if it goes that way.
You can stop worrying about grenades now.
And we'll find out. Nora seem like they have what it takes to get us to that 3rd map. Vitality going to be going to Master. So, quick reminder, Vitality has yet to win a single defensive round. They had 3 attack victories, but now that they've shifted to the other side, they really have been, well, struggling to get anything done. And partially that's Vitality making some minor mistakes like missed C4s, for example. But I think overall it's just stellar play from Nora as a whole, and Meryu getting a lot of frags for his team over the last 2 rounds.
The gun skill is certainly showing where Nora Rengo does have their strengths. That's one thing that we've always said about this team, is that the potential fragging power that they have on their side is just too much for most teams, and certainly Vitality, who, where, yeah, they have great shots such as Bibu, but whenever you have essentially 3 players, Waka, Meryu, and Shin, all with incredible gun skill, that just makes it a lot tougher for Bibu to try and fight all of them. And whenever you have Waka running about on the blitz, it just makes it a whole lot harder as well. And like you said about where Vitality, they didn't really hold the cash, this is where they're going to try and put a little bit more influence.
Yep, and Nora do have the, almost potential damage, but just hitting the shield, it seems. Still, Nora has the tools that they need in order to take cash room right now. They have the blitz in hand, they're going to be going for that push in through the door. Now the problem is, you're opening yourself up to a crossfire, and that's the crossfire that I'm talking about. Bridge from the doorway in construction will shut down Waka on his push. And Vitality establish a very significant lead now. They've dealt with all of the potential pressure from the shield, and it's going to be a lot easier for them to start winning these engagements. Meryu, though, still the main fragger for Nora, and he is in a position to potentially get some of those frags, but he's got to get proper information from his team before he makes this push, otherwise it will be in vain. Oh, he's joining himself in.
Look where Bibu is as well, and I don't believe there's going to be anybody there to actually help Meryu if Bibu does decide to go for this flank. So this could be detrimental for Meryu if he doesn't have a bit of a backup here coming to him, as the rest of his team is trying to work on that jacuzzi area, and Spark will win that gunfight against Meryu, going for that slow peek, which did not work out for him. as JJ and Papillon are going to be nowhere near to get that refrag, as Shin is going to be on extremely low health trying to fight this Spark, or not Spark, it's going to be Zephyr on the smoke. And yeah, not looking too good for Nora Rengo. Still 30 seconds on the clock. They've lost two of their main fraggers, Shin on extremely low health. So it does really rely on the two support players, which is going to be JJ and Papillon, as Zephyr's already going to start to smoke himself and the window out. And he's playing right underneath the window, which, look where two of the Nora Rengo players are, is going to be holding the exact same angle with the Claymores as well. And he's going to start tagged up from the roamers still over in towards Cassius. JJ on extremely low health, 1 HP. As Bread does get the kill onto Shin, and Spark will clean up things onto JJ. Last month will be Papillon, who is going to be down in towards that bar. Rotates up towards the stairs, should be her door. A good man will go off, and he will get killed by Raphael. And Vitality do bring themselves back into this matchup, where they are only one round to bringing it to overtime.
Their very first defensive win comes on the master site. And it is thanks to their extension into Cash Room. There was not, it doesn't look like Nora was ready for that, to be honest with you. I don't think they're used to seeing the roamers inside of Cash, and once the blitz started for that push, the crossfire was still established from construction. That's a pretty standard crossfire to help your teammates. And Nora didn't drone that out first. They didn't check for it, they didn't account for it. And because of that, they got stalled hard. And then once they shifted their way over to the windows, they'd already lost 2 players. They didn't really have any pushing power there. Plus, the flank was now open because you don't have anyone playing inside of server. Server window is going to be peaked. And then peaked it was. Vitality managed to get it on pure fragging power after that. Nora could not recover.
Seems to be that Nora Rengo, whenever they have their push in mind and it doesn't go to plan, they do start to fluster. They start to they don't know where they want to go next. There's probably no real call out what they want to do. All they were doing was holding angles essentially that whole game, and they just fell one by one by one. It was almost a flawless round for Vitality. I believe a Claymore actually did manage to kill Raphael, but other than that, it was more or less a very easy round for Vitality. There was no real struggle for them in their hold, but like you said, that great Cash Room defense hold from Spark played it extremely well, and then Bibu, even on the backstairs, he didn't put that much of an impact in, but certainly he could have if he was called upon to do so. So we will be headed back downstairs to the Church and Arsenal room, where it will be Vitality going for a different strategy than what we've seen before. We're seeing the Maestro being brought out by them for the first time. And also Spark is going to be on that Ela once again, which he was on last time for this defense. So a bit more of an aggressive roam game possibly from Spark, but also a wee bit more control and more intel gathering from the Maestro cameras also.
Yeah, very important role to have, and that's why, of course, you know, Vitality, they very commonly ban Echo, and they have banned Echo here, is they don't like the indirect, you know, defense potential, but Vitality themselves are going to be able to use it here in this round. Now, interesting change from Nora. They've brought the Montaigne instead of the Blitz, and I have to say I agree with this, because the only time Blitz actually worked for Nora was when they were attacking the basement, and they were clearing out the roamers. Now, having those little extensions on the side of the head there could have helped out Nora in the last round. So now that Waka does have that, and he's got someone droning for him this time, he's probably going to see much more success. It's a basement defense yet again, and we've only seen this once before from Vitality. It was on the very first round. They could not make it work for themselves, and it was because they roamed too heavily. They had people up by the strip hallway, all up in master area. There were too many roamers. 2 of them got pinched and finished off, and that put them in a very large hole when the actual execution came.
There's one big operator which I'm quite surprised that Rengo isn't picking up, and that's going to be Dokkaebi, an operator that is very useful on this particular bomb site where you do have a lot of anchors, especially. So knowing where they are, that could help Nora Rengo as well. And whenever they have players like Shin who can play that well, like we've seen him play on Coastline, that could also be another factor which could give Nora Rengo the edge potentially as well. So that's always another option that Nora Rengo could look into if they do lose this round, is changing up an operator. and especially a very good operator at that, as Dokkaebi is very strong currently in the meta. But Nora Rengo are going to start opening up the church wall, going for this push, almost the same way that Vitality did earlier on inside of this matchup, where they have the Montagne going in, gains all of the intel, as Shin is going to be working towards them backstairs as Papillon, he's looking to go for it. They're not entirely sure at the moment. They do have Mario in a very strong position here, holds down these rotations in towards the blue. And then Papillon is going to go ahead and open up the church wall, gets themselves into the staging ground for the beachhead. Again, you only need just a couple of seconds typically for Clubhouse to go for the plant. It's not a big hurry, but it will be Waka getting the first kill onto Zephyr. With that pistol from the Montagne, gets a Waka double kill Montagne. Spark will get the refrag onto Shin. Smoke canisters do go out as Papillon will go for the plant. Raphael's going to be stuck right in the back beside them boxes. Diffuser does get planted. Bread gets the kill onto JJ. This is going to have to be a miraculous retake from Vitality, and it's starting to look that way. Raphael gets the kill, and Bread gets the kill onto Papillon. That's what it will be. The Montagne gets shut down by Raphael, and Bread is going to be able to get the defuse, and Vitality claw this back, and we're headed into overtime.
That is the definition of a round you should not lose. Post-plant scenario, you've got enough manpower live, I believe 4 people at that point, and sure, you lost your push into blue, but what is happening on the front by Church? Who is holding these angles? What's going on? Vitality just walks in and gets kill after kill after kill with no repercussion from Nora. A huge mistake there, well, just one glaring mistake, unable to win their fights. Now, that was the second successful defense win for Vitality. 2 in a row. You know, say what you will about Vitality, but they really win the defensive rounds when it matters the most. And they will push it to overtime. And unfortunately for Vitality, they did get defense first. They clearly favor the attacking side. However, Nora, following those failures that they just had, might be really demoralized at this point and maybe don't have a lot of faith in their attacks, and this could hurt them. We'll have to find out.
Yeah, this is where it sets into the mind games of Rainbow Six Siege. It does happen. Looking at the scores in the doors, Spark leading things with 14 kills, 11 assists for Bebu. Wow, that is pretty strong as well. And look, Mario hasn't gotten a kill since his clutch.
Yeah,
that's pretty amazing as well.
So we're seeing a very interesting match. Same thing with the first map, actually. It was also very weird. Now going on to Clubhouse, that weirdness has not left the premises. We still have it here. But 5-5, this is very much anyone's round, anyone's match. Basement hold for Vitality. I'm kind of interested. It's kind of interesting to me that Vitality has chosen to go down to the basement as their first site. I mean, if you look at the first time they held basement, they just absolutely got shredded. The second time that Vitality held basement, they also got shredded, but then suddenly a retake out of nowhere, and one that really should not happen given the nature of that post-plant scenario. I mean, you're dealing with one lane that they're going to be pushing through, really, or I guess 2 if you want to split it up. But honestly, it's an easy hold, and it just couldn't happen for Nora. The point being here, though, is that Vitality is taking a pretty big risk with this basement hold. Even after following that last success, that was kind of a close success. It was scraping the wire.
I would say this round comes down to not how Vitality want to change up their defense, it's more how Nora Rengo want to secure their hold. We talked about how their flanks just are non-existent. They cannot, once the bomb gets planted, they just lose it, and especially against a team like Vitality, who will punish you. If they see an opening, they're going to take it like they just did. Bread just walked down the main corridor. That should never happen, like we discussed, but certainly it has to be Nora Rengo who step up here. Vitality are ready to punish them. We know that Vitality are the stronger side in this matchup. Strategically wise, maybe not so much the gun skill that has been shown by Nora Rengo, but certainly Vitality do have the edge.
So, as the slow push comes out from Nora, you can see they're focusing primarily on clearing the roamers. Once they've cleared those roamers, then they'll start their push in, very likely yet again onto the church wall. Now, it looks like Vitality are setting themselves up for impact strategy here. And the Moto drop-down has just been opened up. Bibu waiting for his opportunity to shine. Now, this could be the make-or-break moment. If Bibu's able to hit the impacts proper, then Vitality's church wall will stay intact. However, if he misses, then Nora will have yet another chance at this round. Though, again, if the wall stays intact, then Nora's going to struggle when they go for their actual site push. Even though they have that Montaigne, it's still very tight to make the push without an open church wall. So Bibu setting up for the middle panel. We'll see if the impact has enough radius. He sees the explosion, and it's just a miss yet again from Bibu. It's not an easy impact to hit, that's for sure. Brid will get the first kill of the round. Deceptively, 40 seconds left in the round. Bibu gets the second. Mariu, though, responds in kind, and JJ able to get Bibu to shut him down. A 3-on-3 with only 30 seconds to go. Rafael using his ACOG deep inside of Arsenal, and he's going to lay down some fire onto the main stairs. A great position here for Brid. He could potentially get some very free kills, especially given the information he has. You can tell from those marks. He knows there's someone inside of Moto, and he forces out Moto control. He'll get Mariu. Perfect time here from the smoke of Brid, and he gets a double kill. JJ shuts him down, but Rafael is able to get the final kill, and Vitality will take the first round of overtime.
So Vitality do win once again on the exact same bomb site that they did last time. Brid with that smoke, with that shotgun, quick double pump, and that does shut down Nora Rengo for their final, or not final, their potentially final attack there that they had the chance to. And knowing Vitality, they are 100% going to punish Nora Rengo for giving them the attack.
Yeah, I'm sure they will. Vitality now shifting back onto attack. It's been a while since they've been on attack, of course. It's been about 6-7 rounds. Well, yeah, 6 rounds.
Yeah.
So this could be a completely different Vitality from what we've been seeing over the last half and the start of overtime. And it's possible that they'll still have that lethality that we saw in the first half, but it's also possible that Nora has adapted to this point. I like that I'm seeing the Jackal yet again from Vitality. Remember how much of a problem the Nora roamers were for Vitality's attack. So they're already taking into account the potential issues that could arise here. And we're going downstairs to the basement for Nora. And they went to basement 3 times, but they only won it once. So this is we're talking about risks. This is one of them. Nora could lose it all right here. It is match point, series point for Vitality right now.
And especially whenever you're going up then against Obey, which is probably who you don't want to play just after their 4 beaten Liquid. So certainly Nora Rengo, they need this. They need to get this in. They need to get this map. And then, like you said, Consulate, I would say, would go up in the air for both these teams.
Yeah, Consulate. Consulate could go either way. I mean, it's the same thing as it's not the same thing strategically as Clubhouse, but I'd say, like, if I'm going to gauge the maps between the 2 teams, I would say, yeah, they're pretty much you're going to be equal on Consulate. Although I want to give slight edge to Vitality, and I think Vitality honestly has a slight edge throughout the entire matchup, no matter what map you're going. Yeah, no matter what map you're going to. But can they really make that work for them here in potentially the final round is the question. Their first goal right now, clearing out those roamers. And once they've cleared out the roamers, they'll isolate the site and they'll start their execution likely, yet again, onto the church wall. It's just so weird to see that church wall coming back into play, all off of a Habana ban.
Yeah, exactly. Whenever you're missing the main operator that really changed that push and just kind of shoved it into the back of the strategies, then yeah, certainly you have to go for the strats that were viable without the Habana, which is definitely what Vitality have played into. They don't have a glass. I would feel this would be a completely different game if Vitality had the glass as well. So
it's also the Mira ban too.
Yeah, so many bans that really affected this.
And that was what Nora, I think, were really relying on, but it hasn't been working out great for them so far. You know, we'll see. I mean, it's kind of weird because it required teamwork between the teams to actually make that happen. Because Vitality were the ones to ban the Habana, and Nora were the ones to ban the Mira. So a bit of an odd round, or odd match, I guess, to give us the formula we have right now.
Odd match. That's it. That's all we will ever remember.
It's still, yeah.
Is Vitality Nora Rengo. Oh yeah, the odd match. That's what it's going to be known as and archived in.
So, also a very nice setup here from Vitality. They have control over the top 2 floors. And they're going to start their push onto the church wall. Bandit tricking is happening here, and you can see that's Mariu going for it. This is a hard wall to trick, that's for sure. You've got 3 panels, and you're going up against a Thatcher right now. The flank from Waka will see no success. Rafael with a flick. That was supposed to be a kill for the Valkyrie, but it did not happen. Good calls from Vitality to sure that up.
Looking at where Vitality are, they cannot get in. There's no Thatcher. Thatcher cannot get these EMPs. Has he used all of them? He must have used all of them, or else it would have been open at this stage. Bibu's going to try and put some pressure on the blue, and he's trying to look for the head off the bandit as Bread does drop. Yeah, definitely no EMP charges, so this is going to be extremely difficult for Vitality. As Rafael did get down, he possibly inhaled a couple of puffs of fumes there, but it will be the trade as Shen and Bibu will both trade. Papayan gets the kill on to Bread as Rafael will push in and get shot down by Mariu. Spark gets the kill on Papayan. JJ does get the kill on Spark and Zafir, and that is going to be no time for Team Vitality, and Nora Rengo are going to essentially just steal that round from Vitality.
Push all the way to the very last round of this map. 6-6 is the round count, and what a round there for Nora specifically, delaying Vitality as long as they possibly could, and Mariu as an individual able to bandit trick the church wall. That is not an easy wall to trick, and both teams have been struggling with their impacting, so it's nice that he went back to what works, just playing a bandit and battery tricking the wall from the get-go. So well done to Nora there, forcing Vitality to use other attack methods than opening up church wall. If Vitality had been able to get that wall open, I am all but certain it would have been their round.
Yeah, certainly not having that EMP grenade. Bread must have used at least 2 of them, just getting rid of ADSs, and maybe 1 for the initial bandit batteries, but we did see that there was, I think he only beat it the 1 bandit charge first of all, and then the EMP went down, but he still had all 3 of them, so it was a big misplay from Vitality not keeping 1 of them EMP grenades to get rid of the final bandit battery. So look how tight all of these kills are. 15 kills in the way of Spark, so he is performing excellent during this game. But yeah, certainly Vitality are going to be on the defense. They have then this bedroom and gym, which they performed so well against Nora Rengo. Whenever we seen the hold inside of the cash room, that really crippled the Nora Rengo attack. They just didn't know what they wanted to do at that stage. And then we had seen the quick rotates, the quick flanks, and it really did just completely crumble Nora Rengo at that stage.
So yeah, the last time we went to Master, it was, like you said, it was Vitality, extension into Cash Room. And that was the first time we saw an extension in the Cash Room, because Vitality had gone here before, but they played safe in the site. Now, when Vitality the previous time played super safe in the site, they lost that round, because they allowed Nora to set up and execute proper. Then, once they extended into the Cash Room, the Blitz, the biggest thing is the Blitz was dispatched by a crossfire from construction. And because the Blitz was taken out for Nora, they didn't have any pushing power when it came to the actual site. Now, Nora's made the transition from Blitz to Montaigne. They did that a little bit earlier, but I don't know if that's going to change things, because it did really look like Nora were not really in the right zone to clear Cash Room. I don't think they had the tools, at least to the previous attempt. This time there's an unreinforced wall, and they do have an Ash and a Montaigne, so this is probably going to be a better round for them.
Yeah, Nora Rengo, they have the more adaptability with all of this soft destruction. Montagne's going to push in, but the crossfire, like you talked about, Rafael does get that kill onto Waka. He was a blitz last time, which is a lot more aggressive. Montaigne is so much more safer in the C4 from below, from the pulse. That was a pick we did not see last time, but then Papayan will get the refrag onto Zephyr, as that is going to be JJ looking for a kill onto Spark, who's on extremely low health.
Half of the round yet to go, and Crazy Papayan will get sparked. JG also gets Rafael, and Papayan a second one onto Bibu. Brid is the final defender for Vitality. We're shaping up for map number 3, unless Brid can clutch it out. But he's going to have to wait for so long. An efficient take so far from Nora. It looked like they had all lost it when the Montaigne was eliminated, but they've managed to recover against all odds. Brid now waiting in the hallway. He's going to have to bide his time. He's got a whole minute to work with here. Nora, on the other hand, are going to have to start droning out and looking for their opponents. They don't want to jump the gun. They don't want to lose because they stack up and get caught in the same spray or anything silly like that. So they're going to calculate this move and push in likely all together. EMP is coming out to clear any potential traps. Nice angle being played from Rid. He's going to miss the shots though. Goes for another one onto the windows for Balcony. Gets the second follow-up shot onto JJ, getting the Thatcher, but the diffuser's being planted right now near Islands. And the Rid! What is happening? The 3K from Rid! Vitality take it! 7-6 and a 2-0 in the series!
Are you kidding me? What have we just witnessed? We've seen Vitality take the early lead, and then the quick 4K coming out from Nora Rengo. Puts into a 1v3, and Bread, who has been known to clutch up so much for Vitality, takes it, and that is gonna be Team Vitality moving into the live stage in front of all you guys here at Paris.